Welcome back. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. Today we're going to be taking a tour of the worm bins. I got a feed, so I figured I'd go ahead and make a video, just go through it all. Might be a little long. Not sure what I'll call it yet, but anyways, it is a worm bin tour. My worm room tour. I am Grant McIntosh. If you are new, and these are the African night crawlers in the Vermibag Mammoth, and I've fed them several times since the last video, which was African night crawlers. Besides the cocoon video, what they look like, I did feed these. It is October the 7th, a Wednesday, and I fed them on Sunday week before, so it's been about a week and a half. I did feed coffee grounds mainly on this side, mixed with a few other vegetables that had been frozen. I put a bunch of shredded cardboard and paper on top. I keep the bubble wrap on top as well. This side I fed a lot more vegetable scraps. You can see we got some sprouts. I'd say that's either a cucumber or a pumpkin, but I just picked the sprouts and let them go after it. There's looks like a potato. I'd say it's probably a potato peel that's growing. See some pumpkin seeds. That's probably what was growing. Them sprouts were pumpkin seeds. Looks like they've gone through most of this food. See a few potato skins. It takes them a little longer to break down. There's a piece of something. Almost look like bacon. I do not feed meat. There is no bacon in here. But let's check out an African nightcrawler or two. These are some of the smaller ones. We will see some big ones in the breeder trays here in a minute. But I'm going to have to feed these. I'm just going to go on top of this cardboard. I've got a bag of just a mixture of stuff. It has been frozen. It has been thawed for a couple days. It looks like just a mixture. There's a bad cutie. So I am putting citrus in there. We got some tomato ends. Looks like some bad cherry tomatoes, okra pieces, asparagus, potato peels, onion ends. There's a whole half of an onion. It is okay. Banana pepper that was bad. Yeah, the citrus, the onions, potato peels, cantaloupe peeling, all that stuff. You can feed them in moderation, especially if you've got a system that has some depth to it where they can escape if they need to. The mammoth is huge. I'm just going to cover this up with some more shredded paper. But first, let's check on the European night crawlers in the urban worm bag. Urban worm bag. We've done several harvests on the channel of the urban worm bag. It generally stays a little more moist than the Vermibag, but that is easy to adjust. And I fed them on the same Sunday. Now these are mainly Europeans, but if you've followed along, we did have the African night crawlers in here first, and apparently I didn't get them all out. There were some tiny ones that survived. But it's been right at 2 years since I've had all of my worms. I got the red wigglers in the Worm Factory 360 that we'll be looking at here in a minute, and then I got the African night crawlers and the European night crawlers in September and October of 18. So I've definitely got a few worm videos. If you're new, check them out if you want to. These have gone through most of this food. See, they're a lot more congregated. It is a smaller system. There's some corn husk still working on an avocado skin, but most of the food is gone. There's some Europeans. They're not that big. But they are making castings. And same thing for them. We got, looks like a little bit more cantaloupe pieces in that side of the bag, but there are a few pieces of okra and tomatoes.
Now I've got a bag of shredded cardboard and paper. We're just gonna cover it up. I do sometimes do bedding, soak it and mix some stuff in with it, but as for now I'm just doing dry bedding on top. I'll check it in a few days. If it needs some moisture, then I will spray it down with a spray bottle. Do the same thing on the urban worm bag. That's a good way to control the moisture in it. It does retain moisture a little better. See, the sides aren't sweating, so that's a good thing. It's not been as humid the past couple weeks. Just gonna do the same thing, cover that up with dry bedding. And the Worm Factory 360, my very first system. I do have all 4 trays. My personal opinion, if you're going to run a Worm Factory 360, run all 4 trays. Because they don't migrate like they're supposed to. For the most part. I mean, there are ways to get them to work. I've got videos on that right now. Here it is. Feels a little dry in that top tray for sure. Do see a few red wigglers. There's a few in there. Feed this top tray the same time about a week and a half ago. There's some red mites. It's a good way to bait them out. I could go wash that off in the sink and they'd be gone. See what's in these other trays real quick. Looky there. That's not a red wiggler. That is an African nightcrawler. I'm telling you, the African nightcrawlers end up in every system. I don't know how they do it. This tray is a little bit more worked through. See a lot more darkness. See some plastic that went through the shredder. And sift that stuff out. Not many worms, but there are a few. Wow, that tray is really sunk in. And it is kind of dry. And there are a few worms in it. So we're definitely going to have to add some moisture to this. Ooh, that feels good. It smells good too. Good and earthy. So there's still some shredded paper in there. Quite a few worms. Quite a bit of castings. So that's the Worm Factory 360. Let's see what's underneath. Might as well. Looks like a lot of castings, few worms on the worm ladder. So that's Worm Factory 360. I'll deal with it off camera. And you got your urban worm bag a little bigger. And the vermi bag mammoth.
Then we got the vermi bag minimus. I do have affiliate links for vermi bag and urban worm bag products in the description below. And same thing with these. Fed them a week and a half or so. See if I can get my lighting right here. So the minimus has a mixture of worms. It is my mixed bin. There are red wigglers, blue worms, African night crawlers, maybe some Euros. Started off with just red wigglers, and I transferred castings into the bottom of this thing, and that was the wrong thing to do. Here's a corn cob. That's the minimus. Looks like I need to feed them as well.
So these mortar trays fit perfect on top of the mammoth. Here's the difference between a breeder tray and just a vermicompost tray to me. This was all shredded paper, vegetable scraps, food scraps, and now it's castings. So there's going to be some stuff stuck in it here and there. Might have been the big pieces of peat moss I sifted. So this mortar tray, breeder tray, started off as peat moss sifted down to 1/8 screen. Look at all these cocoons on top. See all those cocoons? That's the point of a breeder tray. Okay? Making babies. And you can sift that peat moss, sift the cocoons out a lot easier than you can the shredded paper and cardboard. So whether you want to start off small with some mortar trays or some plastic bins or a system, just depends on how much money you want to spend, how big you want to go. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. Till next time, have a great day.